you will be wishing for a pit toilet.
That dude had a cold. He was like hacking and sneezing all over my plate. This Dutch couple, they just hated us.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are back from Nepal and our incredible Everest Base Camp and Annapurna Circuit treks. Those were honestly the trip of a lifetime, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely unbelievable. Physically, there was a spiritual awakening. I can't say enough about it. I hope you guys are all going to want to do it.
But there was definitely a lot that we did not know going into the trip. So we have compiled a list of the top 10 things no one tells you about doing the Everest Base Camp and other treks in Nepal.
Okay, thing number one, you are required, ever since 2023, to have a licensed guide to do the Everest Base Camp trek. Now, there are plenty of people that are still out there without a guide doing it. I think you can get around the requirement, but let me just say, even if it wasn't required, we would have wanted it. The guide is not at all necessary to find your way. It's easy, I mean, it's a trail. But the guide is essential to just really understand all these cultural elements, also booking the tea houses, all that kind of stuff, coping with adverse weather, all sorts of different things. Guides are incredibly useful. Obviously, they know the language, they can introduce you to people. Our guides just made these treks so special and amazing. They're not particularly expensive, honestly. And so it is just well worth it, even if it wasn't required.
Y'all know we are not typically guide type people, to say the least, right? Like, I think when you first heard, oh, we gotta have a guide, you're kind of like, oh man. But honestly, it was beyond the right thing to do. Can you imagine what it would have been like for us having to navigate during the cyclone Mantha? Like, the amazing thing about a guide is if you have to totally bail on your original plan due to weather or whatever is happening, the guides just handle business for you.
Absolutely handle business. We were trying to drive through a waterfall. If it was just us, we probably would have tried to drive through. We might not even be today.
We already booked our hotel. Like, we can't get out of it. We're just going. And our guide is like, guys, chill out. We're not going to go through the waterfall and die. We're just going to go find you another tea house. You're going to relax tonight. We're going to try again in the morning.
It was great. We found a tea house like 5 minutes from that waterfall, and everything worked out awesome.
Amazing. Oh, I love our guides.
Yeah, guides are the best. Got to do it. Thing number two that no one tells you is how much do you tip your guides and your porters? It's a really difficult question.
It took us a long time to figure this out.
Well, everybody's got different answers, but the sort of consensus, I think, is that you tip your guides between $15 and $20 a day. And the porters generally around $10, maybe $15 a day. It doesn't sound like that much. It does add up over a 10-day trek. That would be $200 or so to your guide. And that's between the 2 or 3 people in the party. So it's not really that much per person, like $10 a person. So that was the kind of consensus that we heard from others and read about from others. We ended up going more than that because we just loved our guide so much. I mean, and I'm sorry, like that, you know, even $30 is like the tip on a dinner out. Like, these guys are working their butts off.
I know.
So we ended up tipping our porter almost double what the recommended was.
I mean, the porters, they work so hard.
No, I mean, seriously, but both the guides and the porters really deserve whatever tips you want to give. And so we ended up tipping our porters about $20 a day, which is definitely more than what most people do. But our bags were heavy and we were super impressed with these guys, and we were honestly just really happy to do it.
Yeah.
So that's not the standard, but we felt good about that number, and the guides got a little bit more than 30 a day.
Now, the third thing no one tells you. I've had a lot of my friends and coworkers asking me, oh my gosh, did you have to use a pit toilet? Guys, by the end of the trek, you will be wishing for a pit toilet. It's a rough scene out there, let me just tell you.
Pit toilets are great. Let me just say, a pit toilet, it's a pit. Like, everything just goes in the pit and you're done.
And you're done.
If you get yourself a flush toilet, especially higher up, the odds are higher than 50-50 that that toilet is not gonna flush. It is not going to work.
It's an optical illusion. You think you're so stoked when you get into your own little private tea house and you have a little toilet and you're like, oh, we have a toilet? What luxury. No.
And what you'll see in the corner of these rooms, these bathrooms, is a big bucket of water. You're like, I wonder what that bucket of water is for.
What a mystery.
It's for when your toilet does not flush and you then take a jug and try to sort of self-flush the toilet by throwing water into it.
I don't know who is self-flushing their toilet by that method, but let me just say, it didn't work once for us.
It doesn't work. So you're just desperately like trying to self-flush this toilet. Water
You're
going
just
everywhere.
panicking in the room by yourself, just like, no!
And after the first time you experience this, you will wish you just had a pit toilet.
Were you just so stoked by the end when you just like were like, oh wait, we get a pit toilet? Yes.
Yeah, because when you get up really high, then they really can't do any plumbing. And so you just have to, because it's, 16,000 feet, it's frozen. So you have to do a pit toilet. And I was like, oh, thank God it's a pit toilet.
Relief. So, everyone talks about how hard the trekking is or the altitude. Honestly, the trauma that I'm still experiencing in my body is the toilet trauma.
So I highly recommend it. Even if you have a supposedly flush toilet in your room, try it once, see if it flushes. If it doesn't, just go outside to the pit toilets.
Yeah, do a test run.
Do a test flush with nothing in there and see how that goes.
And thank us. Thank us later, guys.
Thank us later. All right, the fourth thing that no one tells you on Everest Base Camp Trek is that the Kumbu cough is actually a cold. I'm sorry. At least half the people on this trek were sneezing and coughing. It's flu season over there in Asia. And so about half the people just had colds, or maybe some had the flu or whatever. Elise had a cold.
Because of this cold that I caught, making it so much harder to breathe.
I got a cold right away.
On the airplane, I think. A lot of people are traveling.
Yeah. It's so hard to avoid getting a virus or something over there. Like, you're just in these compact spaces with lots of germs floating around. We got so OCD by the end with our little hand sanitizers.
I was so OCD with Elise. I'm like, did Elise just touch me? I'm putting on sanitizer.
You would put on sanitizer just being in my near vicinity.
I almost made it through. I got sick like on day 8. But it was fine. It was fine. And a little bit of cold is not the end of the world. But people talk about, the Kumbu cough. The dust blows. Maybe that is sometimes a thing, but all these people who are like, I think he has the Kumbu cough. That dude had a cold. He was like hacking and sneezing all over my plate. And I'm just like, get away from my plate with your Kumbu cough.
It's not the Kumbu cough. Oh, it's just the air is so dry. I actually tried to pull that too. Remember?
Elise was like, I think I just have the Kumbu cough. I'm like, get away from me. Snuffleupagus.
I was like, my throat only hurts like right when I wake up in the morning. It must just be the Kumbu cough.
I was like, stay away from me.
I'm not so ill. You can probably still hear it in my voice. Like, I haven't fully recovered. Anyway, I would say just go into it almost expecting, you may catch a germ or a virus. It's going to be fine. You're going to be able to get through it. We still managed to get through like pretty amazingly despite the viruses we had.
Absolutely. But also just be aware, do hand sanitize the whole way through. Because there is a good chance, not everybody was sick. But it's just, if you think it's the Kumbu cough, then you're not going to be aware that, there's a lot of cold and flu germs floating around. So just be sanitizing your hands every time before you eat.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Related to that, thing number 5 no one tells you is lemon, ginger, honey is the nectar of the gods. Whether you have a cold or not, that is the drink to get, guys. They do fresh squeezed lemonade. They put shredded ginger in there, and then a bunch of honey, and heat it up.
Hot water, yeah.
So it's just this hot drink when you're coming in, you're freezing cold. The ginger, I think, is so good for your digestion. Obviously, the vitamin C is great for warding off colds or fighting off colds. This drink, I think I drink this 3 times a day.
3 times a day.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So good. So delicious.
I can't believe how incredible your stomach did as well. Like, I know we both think that the ginger really helps ward off a lot of stomach issues, especially as you get up to high altitude, which we're both prone to.
Yep. So the ginger lemon honey, I've never seen that anywhere else, but hot ginger lemon honey, highly recommend it. Gives you energy, vitamin C. Ginger just is good for you in general. And it's delicious.
We've been making them already at home. We got a whole big thing of ginger immediately when we got back.
Yep, so you go skiing, you come back cold, make a ginger lemon honey.
Ooh, so
I feel
good.
awesome.
Yes.
And along with that, there were other kind of interesting food things. Obviously, the Nepalese themselves eat dal bhat for every meal, like the guys and the porters, and those guys are superheroes, so definitely recommend that. I ate that a lot.
So dal bhat is essentially lentil soup, some sort of like vegetables and curry, usually a lot of rice, maybe like a little, I don't know, like pickles or something.
And what's great about ordering dal bhat, especially if you're a big Westerner like me, is you get a refill. Because sometimes the portions are fairly generous, but not 200-pound, 6'6" dude generous.
Yeah.
You get dal bhat, they'll just keep refilling your rice and your dal bhat.
Yep.
So that's pretty nice. The other thing is when you get up really high, it's very hard to eat. They make some fries.
Right? I
They're
was shocked.
So good.
I could not believe, like, some of the tea houses made better French fries than I've had in the U.S.
U.S. fries a lot of times are a little like soggy.
Yeah, they're
A
like
little-
roasted potatoy.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously steak fries suck. You're a maniac if you order steak fries. But I'm talking even regular fries.
You cannot be friends with us if you like those kind of fries.
I'm talking regular fries in the U.S. They're not often that great.
Yeah.
But in Nepal, we really got a lot of good fries. Very crispy, very yummy.
Yeah.
Put a lot of salt on there. That was great.
I found it very hard to eat dal bhat once we got pretty high up, so I was just mostly surviving on fried eggs and French fries.
Yep. And it's a great thing to do, especially when you're over about 13 or 14,000 feet.
Yeah. Thing number 6 is that you will likely run into the same people over and over and over again, whether you want to or not. We have a story about this, but essentially all of the people who are using your same guide group as you will tend to stay at the same tea houses and they'll tend to have the same itinerary. So even though you might be in a separate group than them, you'll wake up in the morning, eat breakfast at the same time, you'll get out on the trail, and then you'll end up at the exact same tea house together that night.
Which is really usually awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, remember that group of Polish people? They were so fun.
Oh, they were so cute. I love them.
So interesting. Those Spanish people were amazing.
Yeah.
We made all kinds of friends on the base camp trek. Those Russians were so great. The sweetest people.
Yeah.
We ran into them about 4 different times. They weren't even going with Alpine Ramble, but they just were on our same sort of schedule.
They were taking selfies with us every time we saw them. They were so cute.
It was adorable. So
Yeah.
usually it's a good thing. Usually you're kind of building relationships and all that. However, if there are people on your trek who for whatever reason don't like you, like those Dutch people just hated us. I think it was more of an American thing. I think they're just kind of a little bit up in arms about, American foreign policy.
Yeah.
And I guess we just sort of stood out as being very American.
Yeah, we were definitely the only Americans, I think, on the entire both treks that I saw.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're the only Americans that were kind of doing the days that we were doing.
Yeah.
On our second trek, though, the Annapurna trek, there weren't that many people around. It was just really us and this Dutch couple who were with a couple other people in their group. They were both using the same trekking company as us. And so we would see them basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they just hated us.
They hated us.
I think it was an American thing. I think it was about American foreign policy. And I think they were just really irked by American foreign policy, which I could totally understand. I'd be irked too if I was a European. But somehow they just associated that with us. I think they saw us as the kind of quintessential Americans. I mean, I guess, we're a little cocky, a little, we would sort of get up early and be out there first on the trail and doing our filming and everything. But no matter how nice we were to them,
We tried so hard.
I really always try to be nice to people.
You gave him your water.
I did lots of nice things.
All of their water froze on the day that we did Tarong La Pass. And Adam just straight up takes out his water from his bag and hands it to them and is like, keep it, just enjoy it. And still they were just like so irked with us.
They were just super, super snotty and passive aggressive. They would just say things like, America first. Just like,
first, right?
like ironically, just really kind of, they weren't very nice. But what can you do?
What can you do?
You just are going to see them every single day, and we just did our best every day. In that situation, I think You just be kind and sweet and generous. And whatever is going on with those people is what's going on with them. You know what I mean? I felt like we really represented America very well. We were kind, we were cheery to everyone, we included everyone. And there's nothing else that you can really do. I mean, that we weren't going to change the fact that we got up early and went really fast because we like to film without a whole bunch of people in the shop.
And we're not going to not film.
And we're going to film.
We're going to film.
That's that we like doing
Maybe
that.
they hate YouTubers or whatever it is. You know, that could be it too.
Yeah, I think they were down on America in general. But like, at least that was the start of it. Anyhow, the point being, just realize going in that if there are people that are on the kind of same schedule with you, and especially if they're using the same trekking company, you will likely see them at every tea house. And so do your best to get along. Don't think, oh, screw these people and make an awkward situation. And then you have to see them the whole rest of the trek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so, and we didn't do that. We really tried to make it smooth. They just made it awkward because they were awkward and didn't like us for whatever reason.
Point number 7, the hardest part about being at high altitude is actually just sleeping.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, we told you in the video several times that we were just going days without getting any sort of sleep, which is so rough.
It's our second night in a row with 0 sleep.
That is super tough. And it was by far the hardest thing for me on both treks is up at above 14 or 15,000 feet, you cannot sleep, or at least I couldn't. It also hurts me that I can't take Diamox because Diamox makes you breathe more rapidly.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit of sleep.
A little bit, but I wasn't doing great. But I think for you, what you were describing was actually kind of scary.
Well, okay, so here's what it is. Because I'm not taking Diamox, so I'm not breathing as rapidly. When you start to fall asleep, your breathing slows. And so I would and I'd start to fall asleep, and then I would have this sense that I was suffocating. Because you're breathing slowly, but you're only getting, I don't know, a quarter as much oxygen or something at 16,000 feet.
Is it only a quarter?
I don't know how much it is, but it's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
It's not enough to make you feel like you're not suffocating. And so then as soon as I would breathe faster, I'd be, what? And I go, and I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But you can't fall asleep like that. So for those of you who can take Diamox, maybe it won't be as big of an issue.
I still kind of had that though, like by Gorak Shep, where you're sleeping at almost 17,000 feet, you just feel like you have to tell your body how to breathe, which is just so weird and scary.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah.
And so, you know, acclimating beforehand can be a big help there. And possibly maybe bringing some kind of a sleeping pill or something could be helpful. I don't know.
If that's safe for you.
If it's safe for you. But the not being able to sleep at the really high altitudes was by far the hardest thing of everything for me.
Yeah, it just, I mean, imagine not sleeping for 2 days and then doing one of the hardest physical challenges you've ever done in your life. I mean, it's just a recipe for real intense effort.
Yeah, and to be fair, we're also both terrible sleepers in general.
Some people, maybe you're just gifted. Honestly, if you can sleep at high altitude, you should probably be one of those people that's like climbing Amadablum or doing Everest.
Doing
like,
Everest.
If we could sleep at high altitude, I feel like we would just be superhuman.
Sleeping at high altitude would really help. Yeah. So I'm going to still be trying to figure out a way. If you guys know any way to help that along, please let us know, because that was by far the hardest thing for us. So the 8th thing that no one tells you is that the higher you go, the colder those tea houses get. And frankly, even lower down, tea houses are not insulated at all. Like when you hear the word tea house, somehow in my mind, I pictured like some sort of cozy place with like blankets and hot tea and,
some of those things.
Well, the tea houses are adorable and they're nice. But the higher you get, the more bare bones they are. I mean, when you get up above about 15,000 feet, they're just like, it's just like a plywood shed with no insulation, no heat.
So if it snows, you're good because you're not getting snowed or rained on. But other than that, it's not giving you much.
Yeah, it protects you from the elements. But so it really does help to have a sleeping bag with you for those high parts. I think that just a good warm sleeping bag.
Our sleeping bags worked great. We both have like zero degree sleeping bags, and I thought they were perfect.
We wore layers to bed, like layers of clothing to bed. I was never like sleeping in just shorts and no socks or something. Yeah. I think that was helpful too.
Thing number 9, while the temperatures may go down as you get higher, the prices go way up. Oh my gosh. It got really expensive as we got higher.
Now, this is all relative.
That's true.
I mean, but let's say the ginger lemon honeys. You could get those for like $1 early on in the trek. By the time you got up to the highest parts, you're talking $3. Everything was about three times more expensive near the top. And it makes perfect sense because everything gets hauled by yaks, mules, or humans. We're behind a yak blockade.
A yak conga line.
He's a yak conga line. You're not supposed to pass the yak, so you just gotta kind of follow behind him, however long it takes.
Admire their booties.
It's a pretty nice yak booty.
Oh, fine. Looking fine.
It's not like they can just truck it in. So, you know, that ginger lemon honey, that's been hauled by a yak for like 25 miles.
I know.
By the time you're consuming it. So I didn't mind that the prices were higher, but it's something to be aware of because they don't tend to take dollar bills when you get up high. And so you need to have your rupees. And the last cash machine, I think, is in Namche, right? Is that right?
There was one Dingboche when we were at like 14,000 feet.
Okay, that's good.
We didn't test it though, so I cannot promise that it would work.
In any case, make sure you have enough rupees with you as you get up into the high areas because the prices definitely get higher than what you're used to. And if you don't have enough rupees, then it still will work out, but you have to borrow it off of your guide,
awkward.
which is kind of awkward.
It's
You
kinda
don't want to
awkward.
be doing that.
Nobody wants to borrow that. Hey bro, can you lend me some rupees? No. I will say also that the like all the electronic stuff gets really expensive up high as well.
Charging.
I think we may at one point have spent like $20 to charge like my phone and our power bank. It got really expensive.
And another thing about that is it also gets really expensive to use internet.
Yeah.
And the internet kind of doesn't work.
The internet sucks, to be honest. Like, don't rely on it.
Which is, it's fine if you need to send a text.
Yeah.
But if we were trying to upload a video for you guys, that was not happening.
It was kind of challenging. But, I mean, it's pretty darn cool that you can get some internet that high up. Like, I think it's fascinating that exists.
It's pretty great. And I was definitely able to check texts from family. And
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can send updates to your loved ones. Just
We let your parents know we were alive.
Yeah, but I did warn them. My poor parents were so freaked out. I did warn them, hey, we might not have reliable internet everywhere we go, so don't let your friends and family think that every time you get into a tea house, you're going to be able to text them.
That's right. Yeah, it's hit and miss.
Yeah.
It's definitely hit and miss. And definitely more expensive as you get higher. And the 10th thing that no one tells you is that being in shape actually is very important. We had some comments when we did our training video. People saying, all that matters is being acclimated. You don't need to train for this. In fact, being too well trained will hurt you because you'll try to go too fast and then you'll get altitude sick. Come off of it.
There were some really aggro people.
That is so stupid. All right, yes, being acclimated is by far the most important thing. There are really well-trained people who can't deal with altitude. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. But being really well-trained so that going up 3,000 or 4,000 feet in a day and doing long days and all of that doesn't stress you out physically will help you not get altitude sick. It absolutely will. Being acclimated is the best thing, but not everybody acclimates easily. And at least if you're really in great shape, cardio-wise, then it will reduce your chances of getting altitude sick. The people that we saw that were getting hauled out of there, they were not in great shape. Almost always. Almost always. There was one lady who looked really fit that was getting helicoptered out, but most of the people getting helicoptered out weren't in great shape, honestly. The Polish guy, he kind of made it, but then he didn't make it up Kalapatar.
Didn't get up Kalapatar.
He was struggling super hard, and he just acknowledged, like, he was a young guy. He wasn't in bad shape, but he hadn't trained for it.
He acknowledged that, his words, he hates trekking. And yet here he is. But I honestly would argue that that's probably a real good explanation for why we saw so many more rescues on Everest compared to Annapurna. Annapurna, I mean, we saw one issue with one person, but for the most part, I think people doing Annapurna, I gathered kind of my sense was it's a lot of people who are pretty diehard hikers. Everest is more of like a lifetime bucket list, gotta do it, not really a hiker, but I just feel like I have to make it to base camp kind of thing. And I would guess that's why it's just a lot of like undertrained people.
Yeah, people that just weren't as fit. And so seriously, take the acclimation very seriously. If you can pre-acclimate like we did in Mammoth for a month before going, that's the most important thing and the most helpful. Acclimation is by far the most important thing. But secondarily, be in really good hiking shape, because by not stressing out your body, by not kind of breathing super hard the whole time, it really reduces your chances of having serious altitude sickness. There's science behind that, and we're just here to tell you, we were crushing it, crushing it.
You were definitely crushing it.
And a lot of that was, you know, just having trained
Yeah.
beforehand. So I think training before is really an important part of it.
All right, so that is the 10 things that no one is telling you before doing the Everest Base Camp trek.
As always, guys, let us know what you think. If you have tips that we haven't thought of, and certainly if you have any questions that we haven't already answered, just ask us in the comments. We love helping you guys out with this kind of stuff. We want to encourage as many of you as possible to go to Nepal. We just utterly love it there.
We really hope y'all can get out there one day, but in the meantime, we are really looking forward to winter hiking season around here.
Let's go! Starting with Thanksgiving, we're gonna eat some turkey. Hope you're doing the same. And then we're gonna get out there, do some snowshoeing, do some hiking, and hopefully some backcountry skiing.
Love y'all. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys.